Hello and welcome to the Struggle to Success Mindset Reset Masterclass. I'm Abby Broad, Mindset and Mental Resilience Coach for Women in Business. So, thank you first of all for taking the time to download the Masterclass. I hope you're going to find it useful. For me, I truly believe that our mindset and our mental resilience is our absolute best business asset. Everything else is a level playing field when it comes to business, but particularly when we're working alone, knowing, liking, and trusting ourselves and understanding what's going to work for us is absolutely what will make the difference between struggling in business and succeeding. Many of us, particularly when we're trying to balance life, family, our responsibilities and obligations, as well as building a business, particularly when we're trying to do it alone, time and energy are big triggers for struggle. When we're trying to balance our time, we can often be distracted. And what happens is if we don't take the time to really look and understand what's going on for us, and we sit in a very doing mindset. This means that many of us will power through, and as women, we're very good at powering through. But what we don't do is actually take the time to look at what might be going on for ourselves internally that could actually help and make things a lot easier. I certainly struggled a lot at the start of my business journey, and it was the realization of understanding that it was actually my mindset that I really needed to focus on. Everything else can be learned. We can outsource, we can train, we can, involve other people in our business. But if we're not working out what's actually working for ourselves and where we're getting in our own way, and I offer that not building our mental resilience is the absolute definition of getting in our own way, then business will always feel like a struggle. So I hope today to give you a small insight into understanding what might actually be triggering some of your struggles. Social media, operating online, selling, these are all classic triggers for overwhelm, procrastination, avoidance. They're things that make us second guess ourselves, and we waste so much time and energy uh, trying to work it out, when I believe by looking internally we can actually find out how we can overcome that for ourselves. So I like to keep things simple. So I hope you find these tips useful. By all means, if you have any questions after watching the masterclass, then please do drop me a message. I would love to hear your thoughts if you find it helpful, but also if you find that it may have, triggered something that you maybe want to work on more, or that something that you're unsure about, and not quite sure how to deal with it, then please, by all means, drop me a message. You can get me on email. I'm on all the social media platforms. I would absolutely love to hear your feedback. Okay, so welcome to the Struggle to Success Mindset Reset training. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that this can be the first step in your journey to overcome the 7 big struggles for women in business and start turning your passion into profit. Okay, so here we go. Right, so a little bit more about me. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Abby Broad. I am a mindset and mental resilience coach, and I help women in business to create harmony without compromise so that they can have the business they deserve and live the life that they desire. Because for many of us, particularly those with families, our family will always come first, but it doesn't mean we can't have the business that we absolutely deserve to have. I have a passion for coaching and for helping people, and I don't know where I would be without that. My family, of course, will always come first, but I truly believe that we can have a business, we can operate it easily and actually divide our time, because balance is not something you can do with one person. You have to pick and prioritize where you spend your time and your energy. And that's really what I help my clients to do. So what qualifies me to help you? Okay, so I'm a mum of 4 girls, so 2 stepdaughters and 2 daughters of my own. I am a wife and a business owner. In fact, I own 2 businesses. And I truly believe that we can have it all, and I'd love to show you how. So I began my journey of self-discovery in 2002 to build mental resilience and change my life forever. And that meant interacting and working with a coach and counsellor at the time, who really introduced me to the concept that I had a choice. We all think we've been dealt a hand in life, don't we? And I let a lot of those limiting beliefs dictate how I behaved. There was a lot of blaming and just sort of settling for what I had. And what I realised through that coaching and counselling journey was I had a choice, and that really set me on the path to want to be able to help others. So in 2011, I qualified as a person-centered counsellor, and an absolutely amazing and life-changing journey. And that really inspired me to want to be able to use these skills to actually help others, because what you realise is that it's not an original story. There's many of us that are struggling in this way in life. So I qualified as a coach in 2015. Coaching actually sits much more with who I am as a person and the core drivers that I have. So I like a beginning, a middle, and an end. So coaching was absolutely a way to be able to take people on that journey and really help them. So I started my own business journey as a coach in 2017 and realized very quickly how staggeringly unprepared I was for what lay ahead. But I was determined to make it work. Naive, I suppose. We spend all this time and money training or learning our skill, and what we don't do is realize that we have to learn how to be in business. Business doesn't get easier, we just get better at it. And so we need to learn how to do that. And that's a case of learning about ourselves, but also about the nuts and bolts of business and how to operate online. Okay, so in 2020, after I managed to overcome my struggles, I then wrote a book called Does It Really Need to Be This Hard? And it was telling the story of my journey, really, and how I discovered that these 7 big struggles were the things that were actually getting in my way. And when I really started to focus on them, how business really started to change. And in 2021, I launched my second business. So already being busy, but then being able to actually have the confidence and the courage to take on board another business. Yeah, so you need to know, like, and trust yourself and understand how things are working. So that was about planning, definitely, but also understanding my ideal clients. Okay, so let's begin with a question. So I'd love for you to just sit and think for a moment what you would like to take away from this masterclass. So we often enter into these things and we're not quite sure what it is and what it's going to deliver. But let me ask you, is there a limiting belief? Is there something that you feel that you're struggling with? Is there a place or something, a situation in your business where you think, I really wish I could just be better at that? Selling is a thing that a lot of people wish they were better at. Visibility, consistency, not procrastinating, and balancing time and energy. There's lots and lots of ways in which we want to be better in business. So take a little moment to think about what you would like to take away from this masterclass. Okay, so you are in the right place if you feel like this. If you are frustrated, overwhelmed, annoyed, disappointed, or exhausted. For me, struggle isn't always about not knowing what to do. It doesn't mean we're not capable of achieving something or succeeding at something. It's a way of when we know there's a better way, but we can't quite seem to find it. So it feels harder than it needs to be. Internal dialogue, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs are absolutely what cause us to struggle, because we know what we want to do. we want to show up online, we want to create a post, we want to get an engaged Facebook group together, we want to get more interaction on our Facebook page, or learn how to operate Instagram. Still a work in progress for many of us, but we just can't seem to quite work out and get there. So struggle is about not necessarily not knowing what it is you want to do, but for it feeling harder than it needs to be. So for me, success, my definition of success is joy, excitement, business feeling effortless, being inspired and empowered, and feeling worthy and feeling like you're winning every day. That is certainly not how I felt at the start of my journey, but it's certainly how I feel now when I show up in business. So whilst, we're all a work in progress, we're all trying to do better, we're all trying to make more money, we're all trying to get more clients. Yeah, but now every day I enjoy that process. There'll always be more money, there'll always be more clients. That's something that we can grow. We can grow a business. But what we need to be doing is actually sitting in our success and that amazing feeling every single day, not feeling like it's a struggle, but feeling like you're enjoying and you're empowered. And that's how we work towards actually growing a business. We don't wait for success. It's my true belief that we can live it every single day. Otherwise, what's the point? Okay, so a little bit about what some of my clients say. So I've had the absolute pleasure of working with some utterly incredible women who have inspired me, and changed my journey. Absolutely. It's always a two-way process when I work with clients. I'm always listening and I'm always learning from them as well. And that's what I love about coaching, is that it facilitates that two-way process. So whilst I'm the one maybe asking the slightly difficult questions sometimes, encouraging my clients to think, and to come up with better solutions, and to maybe step outside of their comfort zone, I'm always listening and learning as well. And they come up with some amazing and incredible, and interesting solutions to actually inspire them in their business. And one of the things I love most about the women that I work with is all the interesting and exciting and amazing, unique businesses that they have, and the ways that they actually show up for their clients. Absolutely fascinating. It is, for me, the best job in the world. So Davida, so she was one of my very, very first clients when I first started the Mind Your Own Business Club. Gosh, back in 2018, I think that was. One of my real core tribe members, and she is a lifelong friend to this day. So Davida was very focused on her family. She wanted to be a mum and a wife. She has incredible creativity skills. She's an excellent seamstress. You can follow her on social media. She makes beautiful, beautiful stuff. And she had an incredible business that she began. But family and obviously posed quite a lot of pressure for her, because she needed to be there for her children. She since has moved back over to the States as well, so that meant a huge upheaval. So for her, coaching helped her to navigate and balance her business and her creativity, the stuff she feels very passionately about, but to absolutely be there for her family as well. For Christine, so Christine's over in Canada. So Christine trained as a life coach, and for her it was about having a long-term vision, wanting to set up a new business. She runs an amazing coaching group called Power in Aging. So Christine's ideal clients are women over 50, navigating that change in life. So she and I had a lot of things in common, a lot to talk about. But for her, in her business, coaching helped her to actually navigate that long-term goal, because mental resilience, staying accountable, it's hard to do it, particularly when you're feeling isolated as well. It's difficult to stay focused on the long-term goals when you're trying to do this alone. And Alison Emery. Alison is an amazing massage therapist. She's also a somatics teacher. And for her, it was about again, that work-life balance, getting back her time. She was spending probably way too much time um, uh, second guessing herself, doubting herself, not planning enough. And after working with me, and I still work with Alison to this day, yeah, she's absolutely transformed how she shows up for her business. Lockdown meant a lot of us had to go online. It was the best thing that ever happened to my business, and for Alison, I would offer it was the same for her, being able to offer her somatics classes online. But again, being able to keep going and stay accountable, getting out of her own head has helped her to actually take back her time for herself, but also make her business succeed. So today in this masterclass, I'm going to take you on a journey of discovery. So when you are the product, you must know yourself inside out. Many of us are the product of our business. Even if you're making and selling something, at the end of the day, you're the one making it. And for many of us who offer service-based therapies, if you are the business, if you're sick, if you're procrastinating, if you're not showing up, yeah, your business is going to struggle. So you need to understand yourself, because you absolutely are the product. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about your three brains. So did you know that you have three brains? If you didn't, then you are in for a treat. I'm going to talk to you about your core behaviors, your core values, and your core beliefs. I believe that these sit within us. Our behaviors are what drive us. Our values are our passion, and our beliefs are the things that can motivate us, but also hold us back. So we need to understand what those mean to us. I'm going to take you through some of the common mistakes and why women particularly struggle in business, and introduce you to the 7 big struggles and how we can begin to make that mindset shift. So I'm going to talk to you about confusion to clarity, self-doubt to self-confidence, fear to courage, isolation to connection, guilt to acceptance, time fatigue to time management, and overwhelm to resilience, and how mindset and mental resilience can be your most powerful tool for your business. Okay, I'm just going to take a sip of my water. Okay, so introducing you to your three brains. Okay, so we're all probably aware of the brain that sits in our head. It's there for thinking and processing and creating. And as we're told, the human brain is the most amazing and incredible thing, on the planet. Humans are absolutely incredible. Inside of our brain, so when we learn things, you may have heard of this before. We talk about the neurons within our brain, which are the pathways where, when we learn something, a physical pathway is created within our brain. And the human brain typically has between 50 and 100 billion neurons. Depending on how old you are, how many bashes to the head you've taken, or how much alcohol you drink, it is debatable. All these things can affect our brains, but typically we have about 50 to 100 billion neurons, and that's a staggering amount of information passing backwards and forwards. And our head brain is about thinking and processing and creating, so it's the one that most of us focus on. But we also have a brain that sits in our heart. It controls our passion, our values, and our emotions. And there are about 30 to 120,000 neurons within your heart. So we remember things. Our heart remembers things. We talk about heartbreak. We talk about our passion. We talk about how we feel about things. And as anyone that's done any kind of coaching or therapy will know, that if you change how you feel about something, it will absolutely change the actions that you take. So our heart plays a very powerful role in actually motivating us to take action, and to know what it is that we want to do. If we don't have passion and emotion, we won't take action. And the third one is our gut brain, which literally sits in our gut. It controls intuition, motivation, and self-preservation. So that gut feeling, that many of us have, that hesitation, that procrastination. Yeah, we think procrastination is sitting in our head. It's not. It's absolutely sitting in your gut. And when you look at your gut and realize that it has 200 to 500 million neurons, so not as many as your head brain, but way more than your heart brain, as many as a cat, in fact, we realize how powerful and important it is for us to manage how our gut feeling. So that fear of not wanting to post online, what if this happens? That fear of selling, for example, that hesitation, that of repercussion, all those kinds of things are all sitting in our gut brain. And what I offer is that by aligning all three of these brains, we can actually listen out for the information and then work out how we can actually navigate past something. Because what normally happens is that one brain or the other tends to lead the way, and different situations call for different brains and will trigger different stories. So those limiting beliefs that we love to talk about, yeah, we think they're in our head. Yeah, they're sitting in your gut. Okay, so applying the 3 C's to align your 3 brains. So your head brain is where logic sits. So core beliefs and clarity. So when we need clarity in our business, we need to be asking ourselves questions. We need to be thinking about things logically. So if you're hesitating about doing something, and which is why it's much easier to give other people advice and not take it for ourselves. If you find that you're doing that, ask yourself what your advice would be to yourself, because to get clarity, we need to be logical. We need to be asking ourselves the right questions. Core values, yeah, that's where our confidence sits. So finding our joy. So if you think that you're pushing towards something that you're not going to enjoy, it's not going to be fun. So not knowing your ideal client, for example, um, we're pushing towards promoting and selling a business, but we're not entirely comfortable with who it is that we might actually attract. Yeah, your core values play a huge part in that. And when we know our ideal client and they're people that we love, that we have a real connection with, it builds confidence. So for me, my ideal client is where my joy sits, because they're the people that I want to work with. And your core behaviors. So core behaviors build motivation and consistency. So again, changing how we feel about things and our emotions is how we can actually take way more consistent action. And consistency is really how we build a business. And it's the thing that many of my clients come to me and say, oh, I can do it once, but I struggle to show up all the time. Okay. So common mistakes that we make when our 3 brains are not aligned. So without mental resilience, we're sitting in a blocked or fixed mindset. Now, to be clear, we can have a blocked or fixed mindset in some aspects of our life or our business, or in certain situations, and not in others. Many of us, I'll have clients that say, I really struggle to plan for my business. I say to them, do you write a shopping list? Do you organise your kids? Do you know what clubs your kids are supposed to be at? Do you remember people's birthdays? And they're like, well, yeah, absolutely, Abby. Of course I do, 100%. I'll write it down. I make a note of things. I make sure I know what's happening. I think, okay, so if you can do it in your life and do it for your kids, then you can do it in your business. But what happens is we create blocks, because business is different, isn't it? Because business is often where many of us don't feel our most confident. And it works both ways. So when we're not aligned, our brains, we let the big struggles dictate our actions. So it means we're not taking the time to understand who we are and what we really want. We let old beliefs hold us back and keep us stuck. And we forget what we already know. How many times we end up reinventing the wheel, trying to do something new, and forgetting that we've actually overcome that already many, many times in the past. But we need to take that time to actually look for that information. Thinking that you have to do this all on your own, I believed when I left work, so I love being at work. I loved working in a team. I loved the environment. You know, I've always worked in very people-based industries. Um, yeah, I missed it. I missed it when I went to work alone, and set up my own business. But for some reason, I thought that that was what I was supposed to do. Well, okay, you've decided to have a business for yourself. That means it's all on you, and you've got to do it all on your own. Okay, isolation is an absolute killer for your business. So if you're operating with a fixed mindset and thinking you have to do this alone, it's just going to cause you problems. Mistaking hard work for progress. Yeah, we're very good at doing, aren't we? We're very good at keeping busy. I make work for myself often. And one of the biggest struggles is actually triggered when things start to work, when things start to become easier, and we actually start to take back some of that time. Straight away, instantly, your gut brain says, oh, that was way too easy. That's not what normally happens. We have to work hard for all of this, don't we? And that triggers a story. And again, without connection, trying to do this on your own, without understanding that about yourself, it's just going to make things hard. Refusing to take imperfect action. Yeah, so sometimes you've just got to jump in, haven't you? Sometimes you have to take a risk. You have to just go for it. You know, planning is amazing, but at some point we have to stop planning and start taking action. And sometimes that action will be imperfect. We don't always know how the story will end. We don't always know what the consequences will be, but your gut brain will try and stop you from taking that action because it doesn't know how it's going to end. It doesn't know what the consequences is going to be. But logic and passion will tell you, well, logically, nobody's going to die. If I put this post out and I don't get any likes, okay, that's fine. I'll learn from that. That's what logic tells us. And our passion says maybe it'll help someone. Maybe someone will read it and it will help them. Listening to your gut brain stops you taking imperfect action. And thinking that you have to have it all sussed out before you can sell. Yeah, selling is a big sticking point for many people in business. And for me, my understanding about selling is that selling is in every part of what we do. It's how we show up, it's how we have conversations, and we need to be good at actually sitting and stepping into that energy, to be visible, to actually say to people, this is what I do. You won't believe how many people sit creating incredible products, services, offers, online courses, and then don't ever show it to everybody. I know, because I was one of them for many, many years. Okay, so what are the 7 big struggles and how do we overcome them? So, okay, I'm just going to take another sip of my water. I do apologise. So, confusion to clarity. Okay, so when do you find yourself stuck in a loop? If I do this, this could happen. If I do that, this could happen. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to make the wrong decision. Jumping from idea to idea, procrastinating and working way too hard. If you're constantly feel like you're stuck in a loop and you don't know how to move forward, confusion is most definitely probably is what is at play. And confusion triggers struggles like procrastination, lily padding. So my definition of lily padding is starting something and then suddenly second guessing yourself and then jumping to the next thing before you've given it time to work, or jumping over to something without actually knowing what you want from it. I see a lot of clients entering in, buying into offers, for example, thinking it's going to be a quick fix, not really knowing and understanding what they actually want from it. Watching people working way too hard. Working too hard, definitely, that was me. That was 100% me. Spending hours and hours sitting at my desk, slogging away, but not actually really knowing and understanding what I wanted. So, okay, so the shift in mindset, so how we apply our logic, passion, and motivation is, first of all, we need to get clear on what your goals are for your life and your business. You need to know what it is that you're working towards, and that's about having a plan. Decide what your business means to you. We're all in this for different reasons. We've all got a different why. We all want something different from our business. I wanted to work for myself because I wanted to be present in my life. I wanted something that fitted in around the other things that, my family and my life and that kind of stuff. We all have a very different reason for why we have our business, and we can often be distracted and confused by looking at what other people are doing, thinking that we have to do it that way. So you need to decide what your business means for you. So if that means working 2-3 hours a day, fine. If that means earning a certain amount of money, fine. If it means showing up on one particular platform, if it means operating your business in a certain way, decide what it is that you want from your business, and learn about yourself so you can work to your strengths. Remembering what you already know is a really, really great solution for getting clarity and avoiding confusion. So what success feels like when we get clarity, so we have a clearer mindset. So we're applying the tools and the strategies that help us to be curious about what's actually going on. We get better at goal setting, and having a clearer plan. I am a planning geek, and planning has absolutely been one of the changing points. A game changer for me in business. So we need clarity to know what we want to plan, but the plan itself will offer us clarity for the path we want to take. And the result is that we reduce anxiety and we actually start to become consistent. So for me, confusion felt like feeling really anxious about, terrified about making the wrong choices. When we start to apply the logical processes and getting clear on what we actually want, when we sort of stop, sometimes you need to stop in order to move forward, we can actually become more consistent and reduce that anxiety. Okay, fear. Okay, fear to courage. So my definition of fear in business is not necessarily being afraid. Fear is a response. It's an automatic response to the unknown. So even if we're just not sure about how something's going to go, we might not define it as being fearful, but what's happening is our gut brain is saying, yeah, we don't know what's happening. So it's a fear response. And courage, I offer, is the opposite of that. So courage is about taking action even when you don't know what the consequences are going to be. Like we wait for confidence, don't we? We wait to be brave. So courage is doing it. Yeah. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Is absolutely the definition here. So what is your biggest fear in business? So what's holding you back? What's triggering you to not take the action that you want to take? What does it feel like for you? So struggling looks a lot like reluctance to niche, the fear of having a niche business, because we might miss out people, particularly if we're sitting in money panic. We think I need to sell to everybody because I don't want to miss any opportunities because I'm desperate to make money. I can tell you from my own experience that niching your market will absolutely be the thing that brings more income into your business. Struggle also looks like ineffective behaviors. Again, not following through on things, not being consistent, second guessing yourself, sitting way too long in negative stories about limiting beliefs and, well, what ifs and all that kind of stuff. It's all ineffective behaviors. And we try to compete. Competition can be a real struggle, and a real trigger for people's hesitation and fear in business. Looking at how other people are doing it. So if you're trying to compete, and you haven't niched your business and you're wasting a lot of your time, then you could quite possibly be sitting in a lot of that fear struggle. So the shift, okay, so find your niche, find a safe arena. If you want to be courageous, you need to show up in places where you feel brave. So finding your niche. So for me, that was about working. So I trained originally as a life coach and thinking that I could help anybody with any kind of difficulty in their lives. That was, I ended up with men with issues in their businesses, in their work, but also in their marriages. I had people that wanted to lose weight. It was just an absolute mismatch, and none of it really sparks my passion. It was just too woolly. It was too weak. And when I defined my niche as women in business, where I really felt I was aligned and had similarities and empathy, that was where I found my safe arena. So deal with the limiting beliefs that are distracting you. So again, your gut brain, if your gut brain's telling you a story about, yeah, but last time you did that, somebody said something nasty, or last time you did that, you didn't get any engagement, or what if someone says this? What if it doesn't work? What if it does work? Biggest fear in business is fear of success. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, so deal with the limiting belief that's distracting you, reframe it, notice it, get a grip on it, and learn to reframe it. So stop waiting for an invitation to join in. My limiting belief was I don't want to bother people. I didn't want to keep pushing myself and showing up and pushing myself onto people. I wanted people to come to me because that just felt easier and safer. Yeah, okay, so we need to stop waiting for an invitation. You just need to get in the game. So what will happen when you overcome this struggle? Yeah, so you're going to build your courage, your consistency, and your confidence, and be able to use those things in whatever aspect of your business that you need to. You're going to show up more easily and effortlessly and just get it done. So you're going to sell more and you're going to work less. You're going to waste way less time wasted second guessing yourself and holding back. You're just going to get it done. I mean, I'm all about the quickest and easiest way to do things. So getting in, I mean, I work a lot on social media. I am not on it all day. I get in, I do it, and I get out. Okay, self-doubt to confidence. So do you wish you were better at selling? Yeah, so many of us are really good at creating our offers, learning amazing skills, being absolutely fantastic and passionate and just wanting to help people. But what we do is we hesitate from actually taking that next step. So business kind of sits in two places. It's your creativity and who you are and what you offer, but then we need to take that and put it out into the space. And so many people, myself included, sit in that creating the perfect offer. Oh, I just want to help people and all this kind of stuff. And what it means is we hesitate. So we can't sell. Selling is not just about asking for money, although we absolutely will get better at asking for money. It's about avoiding visibility as well, not even posting, not showing up, not having those conversations. So the shift can happen when we create an abundant mindset. So looking at confidence comes from when we know the answer, isn't it? I'm confident about that. So when we look at abundance, we look at what we already have. We look at where we've already been. We look at what's worked in the past, and that is how we create an abundant mindset. And an abundant mindset offers us confidence. Defining your ideal client. Again, when you stick to a very, very specific ideal client and niche, you have time to build your confidence. I can talk to people about weight loss and relationships. It's not where I feel confident. I was like, well, I know a bit about this and a bit about that, and it's comes down to behaviors and that kind of stuff, but it's not where I feel confident. It's certainly not where I feel passionate. So defining your ideal client and making your niche more specific will actually help you to build your confidence, and understanding your unique selling points. So unique selling points, it's about where you always deliver, where you never fail. So I could offer people advice about relationships and weight loss, or certain aspects of life and that kind of stuff. But it's not my uniqueness. My uniqueness is sitting in front of a fellow female solopreneur, listening to her talk about how she hasn't got time to plan, how she isn't making any money, and how she's about to give up her business. Okay, I can see the solutions even if she can't. Okay, that's my uniqueness. There isn't a negative thing you can say about business that I can't reframe. That's my superpower. So understanding what your uniqueness is, where do you never fail? Understanding that is where you'll find your confidence. The success will come, your confidence will grow, motivation will be more and will happen, and you will be more consistent. So you will be consistently motivated, showing up every day to the people that you want to work with. You're going to find joy in the visibility and selling and take better action. So when you can find the joy, in the selling part of your business, the visibility bit, the grown up, take yourself serious bit, if you can find as much joy in that part of it as you do in your actual offer or service, that's where you find your confidence. Okay, so isolation to connection. So so how much fun are you actually having? So I was having no fun at the start of my business because I was isolated, and I didn't realize that at the time. It wasn't until I started to connect with people that I had the epiphany that, right, okay, I need people. I need to talk this through. I need energy. There's huge amounts of energy we get from interacting and connecting with people. Isolation is a punishment, isn't it? It's not something that any of us will do well in. Um, it shows itself in struggles like indecision, pivoting too quickly, and lack of joy. So indecision, not being able to, you sort of get to that point where you think, I want to do this, but I'm not quite sure. And we just sort of sit isolated in our own head, don't we? Introducing other people into our process. What do you think about this? Should I try that? I'm thinking about this. Just brainstorming ideas is a way to actually overcome that. It means we pivot too quickly as well, because again, we're moving on to the next thing because we're just, we're panicking. We're not thinking clearly, and lack of joy. Being around people really is a joyful thing for me, and I love that interaction. It helps me to work better. And for many of us, being in business for ourselves can be isolating. Okay, so making the shift. So you need to understand what you need from your business to feel fulfilled. So I know I need other people in my business. I need conversation. I can't just sit quietly behind my desk. I need to interact. Find the joy in the bits that feel icky, so that selling and visibility. So if interacting in the right groups, showing up in the right places, reaching out to the right clients again, is a way to connect in a way that feels less icky and more joyful. And connecting with your goals to take better action. So again, stopping and thinking to yourself, what is it that I actually want from this? Connecting with what's going on inside of you, because we don't just connect with other people, we have to connect with ourselves as well. And that's going to help you to set better goals and to take better action. So your joy, connection, and motivation again are going to come back. So you will feel more aligned with all aspects of your business. It means you're going to be able to plan better, and you're going to learn to love all aspects of it. So connecting in the right places, connecting with your core values, your core behaviors, and your core beliefs, making these connections makes business more fun. It gives us energy and it keeps us going. So if you're feeling isolated, reach out now. Just start connecting with other people, start introducing other people into your process, and do it on a regular basis. That's my suggestion. So guilt. Okay, so guilt to acceptance. So guilt in this, the definition of guilt in this instance. So guilt is about a feeling that is weighing you down. So let me ask you, what is weighing you down right now? Do you feel a little bit lost? Are you making excuses? Are you hesitating from taking risks? When we're feeling guilty or weighed down, so being guilty and feeling guilty is not the same thing. guilty in this instance is about something that we've imposed upon ourselves. So if we're not making enough money, for example, and that's having an impact on our life, it will make us risk averse. I can't take another risk because I'm already weighed down by the guilt of not making enough money. Making that shift towards acceptance. So accept your what and embrace your why. So this is about, again, looking at a more gratitude and an abundant mindset. So for me, at the start of my business, I wasn't making any money. That had an impact on my family, and it made me make lots of really panicky, stupid decisions. And what I did was I couldn't see what was logical, and I couldn't see the way forward. By accepting that, because the story I was telling myself was, you're not making any money, you're not making any money, you're not making any money, this dream looks like a nightmare. Okay, when I started to look at what was actually happening, okay, so I left my part-time job for more reasons than to make money. I've set up a business for myself for more reasons than to just make money. Whilst we absolutely need an income, you know, we don't want to be running a hobby business. Okay, we want to be asking for, for sales and charging our worth. But in order to actually step into that success, we need to understand why we're doing it in the first place. And what I realized was that there were so many other good things about what was happening. And that actually helped to motivate me. So acceptance of, okay, so I'm not making money right now. I'm not making the money I want right now, but what is actually working? Okay, so I'm making these good connections on Facebook. I'm getting interest from clients. I'm learning all the time. So setting clear boundaries. Having boundaries. So guilt is often triggered when we're trying to balance time with family and business. I spent hours slogging away at my desk, missing out on things with my family. And that made me feel very, very guilty. But the panic kept me sat at the desk. Setting clear boundaries around your time and your energy and what you want from your business will help you to compartmentalize what needs to happen when, so you can still show up in your life. It becomes a more energetic flow. Guilt blocks our flow, and when our flow is blocked, nothing happens. And kick your butt. So stop making excuses. Guilt makes us, if you've ever tackled a guilty child or felt guilty about something yourself, yeah, we make excuses. Oh, well, I did that because, I can't do that now because. So stop saying but. I'd love to do this, but okay, kick your butt and stop making excuses and start making plans. Okay, so the session, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to have a better direction for your business, and your purpose will come back. When you know what your why is and you accept the why for your business, your purpose will regain. And that is all about your core values as well. And you're going to find true joy and stop self-sabotaging yourself. Guilt causes us to actually self-sabotage, and you're going to make better progress. Okay, one of my favorites. So time fatigue to time management. Okay. So what would you ask for if you had a wish? Would you ask for more time right now, or would you ask for more money? Answers vary depending on how we feel at the time and how busy we are, or how little money or how much money we've got at the time. Okay. Time is the most valuable asset for your business. If you use it badly and waste it, you'll not only be wasting your time, you will be wasting money as well. Learning to manage your business like a boss. This is the thing. Many of us take our employee mindset into our business. And we forget that to act like a boss. So we end up exhausted, we play small, and we miss out on things because we're sitting too much in that busy doing mindset. So make time work for you. Be the boss. Okay, so the boss of your business knows, sets the rules. So write yourself a job description. Say to yourself, this is the hours I want to work. This is how much time I'm going to spend on this project. Um, getting an understanding, so making your time tangible, is and turning it into an actual tool for your business. Time is a tool for your business. So taking your planning process right the way from ideas all the way through to implementation, it requires you to plan and manage your time in order to do that. Understand how time affects you. So know your body clock. Some people work well in the morning, some people work well in the evening. You know, certain things will drive your motivation. Creativity is something that comes and goes. Understanding, what gets you to take action and actually complete things. One of the things I struggle with is completion compulsion. If I start something, I have to finish it. But of course, in business, that's not always possible. So we need to learn how to time box and manage our time in order to be able to keep going on lots of different things. So you need to understand that for yourself. Understand that I can get lost in my creativity, and before I know it, the entire day has disappeared, and I've not actually achieved or done anything else. Success, when we overcome and make best use of our time, make our time tangible, productivity is going to increase, absolutely. And productivity is going to feel, it's going to be more effective as well. So you're not just going to be busy, you're going to be actually effective. Your consistency is going to improve, and the growth of your business will improve, because if you manage your time properly, you will, because we often avoid prioritizing the stuff that makes us money. Oh, I haven't got time to show up at that networking meeting. I haven't got time to put that post out. Number of people that say to me, I don't have time to work on my business. I'm too busy to do social media. I'm too busy to plan. Okay, so if you're too busy to plan for your business, to grow it, then yeah, there's something going wrong. So it's going to help you to prioritize the stuff that makes you money, and still have time for yourself, because taking our own time back is actually is so important in business, because if we don't use time well, we're going to be exhausted, and that's when people decide they're going to give up. So overwhelm to resilience. So here we are. So this is struggle number 7. So for me, overwhelm. So if I let all of the other 6 run riot, that will lead to overwhelm. Resilience is about managing all of the others. Okay, so if we get our head around the other 6, we won't be overwhelmed, and we will be able to build our resilience. So feeling overwhelmed, again, is something I hear a lot in business. So how often do you experience overwhelm? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? How long does it last? Because it's one thing to be overwhelmed for a few minutes when, you've had 3 or 4 emails and inquiries come in, and you were just in the middle of trying to do something else, and overwhelm is often comes to the forefront when we need to show up in our life. Okay, overwhelm in business, because it's like we feel torn. Okay, we feel torn between business and life, and that's when we start to feel overwhelmed. It can feel a lot like anxiety, again, being ineffective, and also exhaustion. So if we let overwhelm stay with us for way too long, or to come back way too often, business, you're going to really be struggling in business. So what we need to be doing is making mindset and mental resilience our priority. And as I said at the start of the presentation, your mental resilience is your best tool. If you can manage what's going on around you and filter it in a way that it doesn't overwhelm you, and instead you're feeling more solution focused, being resilient doesn't make you immune to lots of stuff happening in your business, or things going wrong at home, people being poorly. all sorts of things. What it does is it makes you able to deal with it. Mentally resilient people don't lead charmed lives. They lead calm, productive lives. Okay. So remember what you already know. That is a real great trick for resilience. Know where you've been before, and top up on your joy every day. So again, overwhelm is not too much of something. It's not enough of the stuff that's good. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you haven't incorporated enough of the stuff that tops up your joy and your resilience. So we often say things like go for a walk in the fresh air if that's something that helps you, that you like doing. Take time away from your desk, take a break. These are all things. Go and find something that is easy or that you want to do. Go and do something creative. Go and listen to a podcast or an ebook, or go and do something fun. That's the quickest way to actually reduce overwhelm and start to trigger back in your resilience. So top up on your joy every day, and overwhelm will happen a lot less. So the success you're going to feel is you're going to feel more resilient, more productive, and more energized. Overwhelm is exhausting. It really can affect us, can't it? So you're going to maintain a more balanced approach to business. So you're going to avoid things like feast and famine. Feast and famine, where we sort of have these bursts of energy and we show up and then we disappear. And we're not setting up strategies to keep the flow going. So we sit too much being busy, but then don't ignore the processes to actually bring consistent new leads in, for example. So we have to be doing all of it. And being resilient helps us to do that. And we're absolutely going to be more consistent in our business. Okay, so those are the 7 big struggles for women in business, as defined by myself. I wonder, have you found it helpful? Is there anything that has been particularly triggered for you? Did you hear yourself? Did you see yourself? Did any of it sound familiar for you? So let's remind ourselves of what we hoped for at the start. So what do you know now that you didn't know before today? So has listening to this presentation helped you to realize maybe where you are getting in your own way, noticing where fear is stopping you from selling? Has it inspired you to be able to think about the actions that you can take in your business and your life that are going to help you to actually step in away from struggle and into success, to just make it that little bit easier for you to actually operate in your business? So what do you know now that you didn't know before today? Okay, so the 3 pillars of business. Okay, this is just, I don't know if these actually are the 3 pillars of business. These are certainly the 3 pillars of my business. So where are your struggles getting in the way? So having listened to the presentation, where do you need to be focusing your attention? So are you struggling to stay accountable? Is it following through on what you need to do? Is it getting ideas out of your head? Do you need to be connecting with someone or something to help you to actually stay consistent in your business? Accountability is a hugely powerful tool for business, but we need to understand accountability, the power of accountability sits within us. So we need to know who and what to tap into to actually make it happen. Are you thinking you maybe need to plan better for your business? If you're working without a plan, if you're winging it, if you're too busy, if you're exhausted, if you haven't got time for this and you haven't got time for that, then we need to have a conversation. So planning will absolutely help you to to ease your anxiety and to get things flowing in a far more consistent way. Planning is a very personal thing, and but by creating a proper plan for your business. And by that, I don't just mean like a whole business plan for the next 10 years. I'm talking about, consistent things you need to do on a daily basis. Oh, I need to post here. I need to write an email. Or I must do this. I must do that. Repeated behaviors. Planning is about knowing what our repeated behaviors need to be and what we need to be doing in the moment. And when we get better at planning, we get better at business. Do you feel like you need to understand your ideal client better? Your ideal client is absolutely where your confidence sits, it's where your income sits, and it's where the growth of your business will sit. It's where the joy is. Understanding your ideal paying client will help you to create better social media. It will help you to show up more easily. How often are you sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know what to post, I don't know what to ask, I don't know how to, what to write. I'm worried about who, if I don't want these sorts of people and that kind of people. And yeah, understanding your ideal client makes everything so much easier. Okay, so how do we begin to make the shift? All right, so be ready to get to know yourself inside out. You need to know, like, and trust yourself. You need to understand what's going on internally in order to take the right actions. So be prepared to work and rest. Step out of the doing mindset, okay, and be prepared to do what needs to happen, but also be able to take a break as well. Because if you power through, it's not going to happen. You're going to need to be willing to take imperfect action. So in order to, we don't just step from struggle to success overnight. Okay, we have to trust the process, and by doing certain things, by being curious about our mindset, and by taking certain actions, often imperfect actions, what we find is we actually begin that shift, and before you know it, you will be standing in your success. So you've got to be willing to learn to fail. Trial and error, learning to fail, failing with purpose. So whilst we don't welcome failure, we do need to learn from it, and we need to be okay with it. Hopefully it will happen less, but when it does happen, we want to learn from it and get the information. So willing to get back up and try again. Yeah, okay. So if you're sitting in a very blame mindset and it's like, oh, well, that didn't work, I'm not going to do that anymore. Oh, well, I posted 3 times on Instagram, didn't get anything, I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, okay. So you need to be willing to keep going at stuff, even though maybe you're not getting the results that you want. If something fails, you need to be able to try again. You need to be open to trying new things as well, and embracing vulnerability be empowered. So vulnerability, so it's a big thing. It's a thing that many of us avoid because we look at being vulnerable as a weakness. The definition of vulnerability is having the ability to be hurt. So if we're being vulnerable, we're actually being courageous. We're actually saying, do you know what, I can do this, and I'm not going to let it destroy me. Vulnerability hangovers after we've posted, we feel, I've put myself out there. What if this happens? What if that happens? We need to be empowered by that feeling of putting ourselves out there, rather than hiding away from it. Now, in order to do this, if you're anything like me, and I offer you probably are, we need friends, we need connections, we need other people. There's a lot of stuff we can learn from for ourselves, but the quickest and easiest and simplest way to actually work on our mindset is to have the external challenge that having other people in our process brings. And this can look like all sorts of different things. It can look like having a coach of your own, absolutely one-to-one coaching. It can also be about showing up in the right communities, listening to what other people are doing, asking questions, being curious about, your own process and what you're doing, but also being curious about what other people are doing. So we're not meant to do this alone. We're not meant to do anything in life alone. And just because you work on your own doesn't mean you have to be alone. So find the right support for you. That could be resources. It could be watching, masterclasses like this. I offer, if you're watching this masterclass or any masterclass, the goal is to then go away and take the action. The magic is not in the masterclass. This is not a magical solution. The solution is when you go away and then take action. Okay, so finding the right support, the right community for you, the right things that help you to take action. If you're working on a platform and it's triggering you all the time, then don't work on that platform. Find a platform that feels easy and comfortable for you. Yeah, and yeah, connect with the right people and connect with the right things that help you to take action. Okay, so working with me. Okay, so there's something for everyone. So I'm a part of an amazing free Facebook group. We specialise in helping women to operate online on social media. So you get to learn how to do all the things, because there's lots to learn, isn't there? We need to know how to set up a page. We need to know what hashtags mean. We need to know how often to post on Google My Business to build our visibility. So there's lots of practical tips and advice, but also I show up there every week with mindset training, very similar to this, and the opportunity for you to engage. And it's absolutely free. There are also lots of free resources on my website, downloads. There's workbooks you can download that will almost can become like your little business buddy that will ask you the right questions and help you to take action. So feel free to visit my website and actually download those workbooks. You can also download or access a copy of my book. Does it really need to be this hard? The feedback I get often is, Abby, it's like you're in my head. It's like you're talking to me. And the truth is, of course, I am, because I am my ideal client. I have been there. And the good news is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And you can buy that on Amazon or through my website. You can also book a discovery call with me. So I'm going to be sending out some links after this masterclass. So you'll receive some links where you can access all sorts of different resources for me. Please, if you're struggling after this, if you've got any questions, if you want to explore anything anymore, just want to ask me about what it is I do and how I can help you, come and tell me what you're struggling with. Let's have a conversation. So you can always book a free discovery call with me. And finally, okay, so I would love to hear your thoughts. So I really, really hope that this has been useful for you. And I hope that after today, after watching the masterclass, that you will hopefully go away and be able to take some action. So what will you do differently? I know when I started to work on my mindset, the first thing I realized was, yeah, I've got a choice. I get to choose how I do this. And it helped me to get a lot braver, and that helped me to take better action. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do drop me a message or an email and let me know what you thought about the masterclass, if it's been helpful, or if you have any questions at all. And let me know what you're going to do differently. What action are you going to take after this masterclass to actually step into your success and really start turning your passion into profit? So if you have enjoyed it, please tell your friends. If you've got other friends in business who are struggling, please do let them know. You can leave a review on my Facebook page. I would be eternally grateful for that. Or also leave a review on Google, or send me a message or email. Sharing how you've felt about this masterclass could definitely help other people as well. And that's what we're really all about, isn't it? It's helping each other, because that's how we get it done. Okay, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I look forward to hearing how your journey is going, and watching you step from struggle to success.